in the time I've been raising in Parliament a number of the concerns which are detailed in this book, the number of police officers who on their own initiative have approached me expressing their concern about the nature of internal investigations in the Metropolitan Police, buttressing my concern, and I think we should say that the overwhelming majority of police officers are worried about, that feel that they themselves could be the next innocent victim, and are concerned about the reputation of British policing, which is being diminished by some of the things which are outlined and detailed in this book. And I think it's very important to emphasise that there is deep concern.
We've now got an IPCC which, as the book shows, is manifestly biased, very much in the same way as the old Police Complaints Authority was, and it is not going to solve the problem. And the thing which is very, very important about this book, which goes to the issue of journalism, is this is a very big book. The reason it's a big book is because it has to decode all the spin, all the lies, all the fabrication, and all the attempts to basically hide what is obviously true. It's manifestly the case that the Metropolitan Police has been out of control for a long time, and there are sections within it which need desperately to be controlled. And the way to create change, and the way to actually take this book forward, is to become informed, to understand the history, to understand what's gone on, and not repeat the same mistakes. And so when Ian Blair comes out and says, there's been problems in the past, but I'm going to sort them out, you have to be very, very sceptical.
People like me who from inside the police for many years have been trying to bring some of these inconsistencies out into the open, we face massive amount of censorship. Massive amounts. And when you have pertinent matters, when you have it on the BBC and ITN, people like me get little or no chance to articulate what is happening. So we need you as journalists to stick with the case and to be open yourselves and not to practice censorship and obstruction to those of us who are trying to give a balance or at least another point of view. And that will help to keep pressure on the Met. They will not respond to continuous reports in the press and media, and in turn it will help to get the representatives in Parliament to raise the game.
This question of how senior officers have not been able to be disciplined for this inaction. I mean, and how can you as representatives of the taxpayer allow that to continue or recognize that to be the case? You know, in any other field, when this type of indiscrepancy takes place, we take action. And in this instance, there seems to be a tier above the law.
Unfortunately, as I indicated earlier, ministers have this habit of not accepting the views or the concerns of backbench members of Parliament, but trusting in the brief given to them by, yes, Minister, by their own departments, who've in turn got the briefs often from the Metropolitan Police. So it goes to the very heart of the nature of Parliament here and its deficiencies, of which I and Simon are particularly concerned and frustrated about.
I have publicly said this before. It doesn't stop with the police and senior police. This is a shield. A shield has been put around them, and this shield is supported and perpetuated by some people in the Home Office, some ministers, some civil servants, and it is not acceptable, and it is not just, and it is not reasonable in a society where the police and those who govern the police should be accountable to Parliament and to the public.
We have a complaint against a senior anti-corruption squad officer. We have been waiting 3.5 years for the Metropolitan Police Authority, followed by the Norfolk Police Authority, where he's moved as now the Chief Constable, to do something. How long does it take for these new watchdogs to get their act together?
If you ask the Met about their clear-up rate, which is poor, 16% is, I think, the clear-up rate for the Met, they will say, but our clear-up rate for the big crimes is really good. They will say it's 98% or something. And it is very good. But it is completely unacceptable that serious crimes like murder don't get cleared up, and where there is clearly from the beginning police involvement. And I think people are now getting finding it unacceptable that those crimes are not resolved.
We have the untouchables, but there are also the unemployables, who are the police casualties from this massive affair. We have people like Egg, who I'm sure find it extremely difficult to get work, and of course also to journalists such as Laurie and Michael, who are effectively unemployable, because this kind of work has to be done by people who are prepared to plough a lone furrow, which is incompatible with the demands of certainly daily journalism, and sadly too these days with what's called weekly or Sunday journalism. So I think we're all unemployable in that sense, and it's just I think it's the canvas, the breadth of the canvas that they've covered. I've only dipped into the book, but it goes far wider than the immediate issue of what we previously believed to be the heart of this affair, and that's this will be a source book for quite a few years.
I had to rely on CIB, CIB2, CIB3 to investigate, then Internal Affairs, and then Internal Affairs Mark II. I haven't had any response back. Up to date, I believe that we've had Internal Affairs Mark II are having arguments on PI disclosure on information that they're going to allegedly reveal. We're still waiting. So it's clear that the investigators, investigating investigators, and the Internal Affairs investigating a lot of them on Mark II, doesn't work. It's got to change. It has to be independent. It can't be the police investigating the police. It just can't happen. That's all I've got to say on the matter. And I've got to say thank you to the book writers.
Well done.
For helping me put some of these issues to bed. Well, I think a lot of it, what I wanted to say, has been said. I think the idea is really to get the book out. Once the book's out and people start reading the book, then they start asking some questions. Now I know I can contact directly and know that there is a small minority of people who are serious about looking into the police corruption scenario and investigating investigators. Hopefully, something's going to come of it. You know, I'm not optimistic until we do something about it. 1 minute, please. We're going to be 30 seconds. Just waiting for a couple of the MPs.
Yes, I know it is your number we call. 999, we seek your aid and protection. But it is at your guns, boots and buttons we fall. It is at your brutality we experience oppression.